At 3 a.m., Sarah sits on her kitchen floor, back against the refrigerator, holding a stack of overdue bills. Her husband left 6 months ago. Her teenage son barely speaks to her, and the silence in her small apartment feels deafening. She whispers into the darkness, "God, where are you?" And 3,000 years ago, the psalmist cried those exact words. "Why, O Lord, do you stand far away? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble?" And this isn't doubt. This is the raw prayer of someone who knows God intimately enough to bring their breaking heart directly to Him. Psalm 10 begins in the shadows but leads us into blazing light. The psalmist watches injustice parade through the streets, sees the proud crush the innocent, and feels God's silence like a weight on his chest. Yet he doesn't retreat into bitterness. Instead, he transforms his anguish into the most powerful force in the universe: honest prayer. "In arrogance, the wicked hotly pursue the poor," he writes, and we see it everywhere. Corporate greed that leaves families homeless, systems that favor the wealthy while the working class struggles, politicians who promise change but deliver division. The psalmist doesn't pretend this reality away. He names it, grieves it, and then does something revolutionary. He brings it straight to the throne room of heaven. "Arise, O Lord! O God, lift up your hand!" Here's the turning point where complaint becomes confidence, where questioning transforms into declaring. The psalmist remembers something that changes everything. God isn't distant, He's deliberate. He isn't absent, He's actively working. "You do see," the psalm declares with growing strength, "you have been the helper of the fatherless." What if Sarah could grasp this truth? What if you could? When you're drowning in circumstances beyond your control, prayer isn't just religious routine. It's your direct line to the Creator of the universe who has already positioned Himself to fight for you. Consider Maria, the nurse working double shifts to pay for her mother's cancer treatments, who discovers strength in dawn prayers that sustain her through 16-hour days. Think of David, the small business owner whose company barely survived the pandemic, finding that his desperate midnight prayers didn't just change his circumstances, they changed his perspective on what truly matters. Prayer rewrites our story from the inside out, not because God suddenly becomes aware of our problems, but because we suddenly become aware of His presence in them. Every sleepless night, every anxious thought, every moment when you feel like you're drowning, He's there, working in ways your eyes can't see, but your spirit can sense. O Lord, you hear the desire of the afflicted. You will strengthen their heart. This isn't wishful thinking, this is bedrock truth. Your prayers aren't interrupting God's day. They're inviting His power into your circumstances. When you choose to pray instead of panic, you're declaring that your God is bigger than your bank account, stronger than your diagnosis, and more faithful than your feelings. The enemy whispers that unanswered prayers mean God doesn't care, that silence equals abandonment. Psalm 10 shouts the opposite. God sees every tear, hears every whispered plea, and is strategically positioning Himself to defend His children. His timing isn't delayed, it's divine. Maybe you're the single father wondering how you'll raise your daughter alone, the college graduate suffocated by debt, or the empty nester questioning your purpose. You're not forgotten. You're not invisible. You're held by hands that formed galaxies and loved by a heart that chose the cross. True faith doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means bringing everything that isn't fine to the one who is. You don't need perfect words or polished prayers. You need honesty. You need vulnerability. You need to remember that the God who parted the Red Sea is the same God who knows your name and counts your tears as precious. This is prayer's transformative power. It doesn't deny your reality. It declares a greater reality. It acknowledges that we live in a fallen world, while affirming we serve a risen Savior. It admits we don't understand everything, while trusting the one who understands all things perfectly. As you step into today, whether facing a difficult conversation, an uncertain future, or simply the ordinary challenges of being human. Carry this unshakable truth. The Lord is King forever and ever. Your circumstances are temporary, but His love is eternal. Your problems are real, but His power is greater. Your questions are valid, but His character is unchanging. The storms of life are fierce, but the God who walks on water walks through them with you. The valleys run deep, but His love runs deeper. The nights stretch long, but joy breaks forth with the dawn for those who place their hope in Him. Sarah eventually got up from that kitchen floor, not because her bills disappeared or her son suddenly transformed, but because in the silence, she heard something stronger than her fears. The steady heartbeat of a God who never sleeps, never leaves, and never stops fighting for His children. Trust Him today. Pray with boldness. Rest in His perfect timing. Even when heaven seems silent, your God is always eternally near.